Hello, welcome to Maison Otaku. Come in, have a seat.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Mike.
We're here to talk to you about anime.
And, yeah, just a lot of anime.
Yes, a lot of anime.
The most anime, arguably.
From all one creator, but we'll get into that.
Yes.
We'll open up with, Mike, you got a box.
Yes, I got a box. Now, I had actually talked about backing the Kickstarter for this last season, which should tell you how long it's been. But I got this some time ago, so you may notice this lovely logo right here. For those of you unaware, they do physical releases of otherwise digital-only games, mostly PC stuff. So some of you may recall that I backed Cosmic Star Heroine. So, of course, when Limited Run finally got around to doing the physical release, I got the deluxe one. So, well, first of all, I got the PS4 version, despite not having a PS4 yet.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. Came with the soundtrack, which is kind of reminiscent of the old, early 2000s Final Fantasy album covers.
Okay, it's 51 tracks, so they can't be more than a minute or so long. And
the Hyperduck composed soundtrack was a big selling point for this game. Great work on there. The big reason to get this, though, Sega CD style alternate case for it.
Oh dear Lord!
With this, look at that manual. Mm-hmm. That's a good about a 1/8 inch thick.
Yeah, I mean you could create some serious machinist problems with that thick a piece.
And of course, there's all kinds of other stuff in here. I won't.
Absolutely, you gotta have your bits and bobs.
Yeah, bits and bobs, little. But yes, quite happy to have this. Now I just need to finally save up enough money for a PlayStation 4.
Yes, which he'll do.
Yeah,
I know this man. This man has dedicated his life to paraphernalia.
Yep.
On the other hand, I didn't actually buy something, I just finally decided to watch something. I've been doing a fair bit of that as of late, but in this particular case, I finally started watching Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin. Which, for the record, watch. If you need a reason, I mean, I could review it, I could recommend it based on any number of objective things, but truthfully, just watch it for Ramba Ral. Because, as it turns out, Ramba Ral, even in his gestative state, is still an incredibly compelling and marvelous character. And just, yes, I can't wait for this man to have a goof or a Gelgoog and inform us that it is no Zaku.
It is no Zaku, boy.
Zaku. No Zaku! There we go.
No Zaku.
No Zaku. But we're not talking Zakus today.
No.
We're talking about someone who has done even more to influence anime. Particularly on this side of the pond.
Yes.
We're talking a man whose manga output has really set the tone. He's super influential. He's super awesome.
And he's one of our noted crazy people.
So, stay tuned. It's Masamune Shirow, baby.
So we're finally getting around to this. One of, as Justin said, the most influential, not even just manga, one of the most influential creators that no one talks about.
Yeah, admittedly, there are reasons.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's really kind of a downside that Shiro doesn't get the credit that Shiro deserves. Quite frankly, people get credit for interpreting Shiro more than Shiro gets credit.
But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But now, information about Shiro's formative years or personal life, fairly sparse. The man has gone to great lengths to stay very private.
Yes. And we were just going to leave it at that, but, looking back at our Go to Guy episode, people really liked it when, we went over his history, how he got into manga, and we thought, well, let's try harder.
Yeah, so we dug in. We did actual anime journalism for your sake, so you get a better picture of what this man's really like.
Yeah, we dug, we pried, and we even got a couple of exclusive interviews.
Yes.
So, we are now proud to present you the true, complete, secret history of Masamune Shirow. Masamune Shirow, whose real name is Masanori Ota, was born in Kobe on November 23, 1961. His childhood was...
While at the Osaka University of Arts, he studied oil painting. Shiro found this to be... and from there developed an interest in manga. In his formative years, there he drew heavy inspiration from... and, following in their footsteps, he...
Now, ordering an escort in Japan is surprisingly different from how it's done in the States. You see...
Being a private man, but also a bit of an eccentric, he decided he needed a pen name, so he named himself after the legendary swordsmith Masamune. Because of course he did. Of course, he still had a long road ahead of him to become a manga-ka. The next and by far most important step for him was to acquire a dental plan, and a drunken night of watching The Terminator.
This finally led him to create his own completed original work, Black Magic. Not content to simply self-publish at Comiket for the rest of his life, Shiro began looking for a publisher. This might have been a daunting task for some, but there were several publications ready and willing to give new artists a chance during this time. Plus, Shiro had the perfect plan. Step 1.
Tits the size of your head.
Eventually, he caught the eye of Seishinsha president Harumichi Aoki, who offered to publish his work. He immediately began work on, and from there... As it turns out, bribing government officials is actually quite...
The result of all this was Shiro's best-selling manga, Appleseed, which won the 1986 Seiyun Award for Best Manga. After a professional reprint of Black Magic and another volume of Appleseed, he released Dominion in 1986, which was met with critical... Like clockwork, the Japanese PTA was at it again.
At this time, he coined the term cybernetic waifu. He then went on to publish 2 more volumes of Appleseed. This was a very busy time for Shiro, as he was also...
It was then that he realized the joy of sexy women with tan, oiled skin.
So at this point, he finally began work on Ghost in the Shell, and the rest is history. An already great career that, I think we can all agree, is made all the more amazing now that we both know the full story.
So that's about the who of Shiro. But the why of Shiro and the what of Shiro,
yes,
those are way more interesting.
Yeah, and the why and the what go hand in hand, because Shiro really does do it for the love of it.
Yes. The man is an attitude of self-indulgence, but it's good. It's good self-indulgence.
Yes, he is rule of cool done right. And speaking of which, I think we can lead off with this.
We'll lead off
with our copies of Intron Depot Volume 1.
Yeah. Okay. Although we're holding each other's copies.
Oh, no, this is mine.
Oh, yeah, there's mine, because mine's...
Yeah. His is water damaged, and mine still has the frickin' OB strip or whatever it's called.
Yeah, his has the OB strip, mine just has the slip cover, and mine has some mild water damage, but that meant mine was cheaper.
Yes. But I mean, right here, this is that aforementioned self-indulgence right there. This is everything you need to know about Masamune Shirow designs. So, he probably looked at this lady and thought, okay, her somewhat... actually really revealing power armor is missing something, some minor detail or flare. Oh, I know! I'll cover the edges of the metal with lingerie lace.
Yeah. And Shiro lives and dies by that, I'm doing what I want.
Yes.
He started out doing manga because it interested him. He was an oil painter by trade, which is also why his art style is so very unique. A little bit more Frazetta or Mobius
Yes.
than your typical manga-ka.
Well, and going with those two, he is kind of, if we're being completely honest, he's a pin-up artist and a calendar artist and a designer first and foremost, who decided to create manga just so he could make a living making these things. But do not let that detract from the fact that he is good at making manga.
Yes.
And I think that's the main point we want to make in this episode.
Yeah,
is an
something-
underrated manga-ka.
Yeah, something we both feel very strongly about Masamune Shirow. He is a fantastic designer. There's no way of getting around it. His character designs are striking and unique, and also very frequently, very distinctly ethnicized.
Yes.
Which is also one of the reasons that whole Scarlett Johansson controversy didn't make sense.
Yeah, it was a controversy.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
Oh, yeah.
just as an aside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
An aside, we will show you. Okay, so when Shiro wants a woman to look distinctly Asian, he will give her distinctly Asian hair and eye lines and cheek lines, even so much to where here he has a girl that he distinctly wants to be East Asian.
Mm-hmm. Well, not to mention the main character Dunin is half black.
Yes.
And even though you never see Briarios' original body, he's like a straight up black dude from the Mediterranean, which is why frickin' Aramaki whitewashed them.
Yes.
Well, actually, in the case of Briarios, he yellow washed him because this guy who Shiro flat out said, no, he's totally black. He's 100% black. It's like, oh yeah, he's Asian.
Also, kind of worthwhile to mention about Shiro. Shiro fetishizes the West like only Sonoda.
Yeah.
Sonoda and Shiro have the same Western fetishization going.
Why haven't they teamed up?
Because the universe would explode. Or they're the same guy.
They might be the same guy.
So anyway, getting back to...
Conspiracy theories aside.
Yeah, conspiracy theories aside. He's a fantastic character designer. He's an amazing mechanical designer with realism being so critical to all of the operation of the items he designs.
Yes.
To the point of...
Well, that's the thing. I put him, and this is one of the things where he is criminally untalked about. He is in the same bracket as Fujishima and Kishiro, where he will frequently devote entire panels, sometimes entire pages, to explaining how this mechanical device works. I mean, hell, he invented his own fictional small arms company that exists in pretty much all of his sci-fi works.
Shiro is to cyberpunk manga what Tolkien is to fantasy literature. He's so interested in the nuts and bolts of how the universe works that he creates vibrant landscapes in which fully realized characters have to exist because look at the world they live in.
Yes. See also our episode entitled World Building Through Mecha Design.
Yes.
He is definitely the same thing going on right there.
Going on from this, though, you don't only get that level through design. You also get it through storytelling.
And he is definitely an underrated storyteller.
Right around the same time, of course, when it comes to storytelling from out-of-the-norm manga-ka, because he is very much outside the Japanese mainstream, you only can look at his contemporary, Katsuhiro Otomo, as being similar.
Yeah, more or less.
Not necessarily in subject matter.
But similar approach.
Similar approach. Similar quality.
And that's the big thing that he's frequently not given any credit for.
Yes.
Is these, vibrant, well-written, believable, memorable. We cannot take away from memorable characters.
Yes.
He's a great character writer.
And dialogue. He's fantastic at dialogue. He's fantastic at staging. The composition of his stories so frequently help tell the story.
Well, and unlike some people, looking at you, Wano, His stories frequently tackle, philosophical ideas and, social commentary without getting bogged down in that or feeling preachy. He never, not that I can think of anyway, lets the message of his story get in the way of telling a good story.
And, well, why is this? Why, if he's so good, does he get so overlooked for his storytelling? And there's a very good explanation for this. His main properties, the things he's best known for, Ghost in the Shell and Appleseed, were taken under the wing of two amazing directors, Shinji Aramaki and Mamoru Oshii. When you have that kind of firepower being brought to bear on your ideas, and they do take it in kind of their own direction, what you then get is this total mistake, this total false image that Shiro just created the art, Shiro just created the ideas, and then Aramaki and Oshii elevated it. Not the case. Nope. They actually were working with already rich material. They did not elevate Ghost in the Shell or Appleseed from the source material any more than Peter Jackson elevated his source material.
And that's a very accurate way to put it. None of the adaptations, perhaps with the exception of the Hollywood live-action Ghost in the Shell movie, are particularly bad. I mean, Oshii's 95, it was 95, right, I think, 95 Ghost in the Shell film is a landmark, wonderful, celebrated for good reason, amazing movie. But it's not Masamune Shirow.
No.
And especially one thing I notice in other later versions, they make a big deal out of the Major's sexuality, which, is an important part of her character, but it's also worth noting, going back to Shiro's self-indulgence, the only reason he made her a lesbian is because he wanted to have a sex scene, but in that moment did not feel like drawing guy parts.
Yes.
Ha ha! Dangly part.
Now, after having made that decision, he then goes on to
stick with it,
to actually give it meaning and depth, especially explored, strangely enough, in man-machine interface, which we've yet to see an interpretation of, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's kind of one of the fun things. It's also fun to note that
he makes it up as he goes along.
He does make it up as he goes along, but he has since kind of reversed his stance on that, saying, you know what, I've drawn way too many vaginas. He's gone on to painting male nudes.
Yeah.
That's the guy we're working with.
Bored now.
Yeah, bored now. Gonna draw some dicks.
Yeah.
Shiro is fascinating for this reason. Shiro is exciting for this reason. And now what we're going to do, having hopefully explained the why of Shiro, now we're going to get into the what of Shiro, so that you know, well, what's he done?
Hold on to your butts. So, like we said, we're not going to do a complete overview of his works, but we are going to talk about some of the important ones here.
Yes, because in truth, there's a lot of little things inside of other things that also link up with other things. In theory, everything takes place in one single universe, but it doesn't. Shiro's kind of fast and loose with that whole timeline.
Yeah, there's a bit of Matsumoto going on here.
Quite a bit. But we're going to go in chronological order of the big franchises, if you will. And we're going to start with Black Magic, or more commonly known, Black Magic M66. Black Magic is, of course, the Terminator, but a chick.
Yes. And, that's about it, really.
Yeah, I mean, we could really tell you more, in terms of really getting down into the nuts and bolts of the story.
And we technically have.
Yeah. But
link in the description.
Yeah, the great thing about Black Magic M66 is that it is so very simple. And yes, it does go into the whole, Asimov's 3 laws and so on and so forth. What do we unleash upon ourselves with AI and robotics? So, Black Magic, of course, is a fairly simple story, and it was, of course, Shiro's first self-published work. His first professional work would be Appleseed, which was a much more ambitious story, and, quite frankly, I'm going to step forward and say this, remains his most ambitious and complete work from a manga standpoint. Yes, I am saying that Appleseed stands above Ghost in the Shell.
And I tend to agree there.
Appleseed being a post-apocalyptic story of a Special Forces agent, woman, and her cybernetic boyfriend, Briarios, and their adaptation and assimilation into society.
Right. It's this starts off in terms of the backstory as this fish out of water thing almost, because Dunan and Briarios have been surviving in the post-war waste, and all of a sudden, here's this kind of,
Utopian city.
Yeah, utopian paradise, and from there they almost act as the character, the audience characters, I mean to say, looking in at this paradise.
Yes. And while they do root out a conspiracy within the paradise, of course, because you want to have that, you gotta have some intrigue, what we find is that this city is still actually uniquely good. And they actually have to adapt to this society, adapt to the fact that, no, the wasteland isn't all there is. A really bold decision, and a chance, really, for Shiro to use his art style in this bright, sunny, gleaming cityscape, which is so unlike pretty much all of his other cityscapes.
Yep. Well, not to mention, from a character standpoint, we have a lot of, probably one of the most frequent cases of, the bad guys in this actually have a lot of good points.
Yes. I'm going to bring this up. The OAV doesn't quite go into this enough, and the CGI Appleseed film by Aramaki, both the OAV and the film are by Aramaki, as well as Ex Machina, which was the follow-up CGI film. The CGI films,
they're just action films.
They actually play this really heavy-handed race concept in there, and it doesn't work. It really doesn't work because, that's not what Shiro did. Shiro actually pretty much poses that the synthetic beings are a genuine good, and without them, this utopian society falls apart, and makes the characters come to terms with that.
Yes.
The challenge for the characters is for them to come to terms with the necessity of the synthetics, not, hey, if you don't like the synthetics, you're just a racist.
Right.
Well, a lot more nuance.
Yeah, this is, it's not as bad as that, but Aramaki did kind of turn it into a Will Smith iRobot.
Just a bit, yeah.
Just a bit.
Same thinness.
Same misunderstanding.
Same misunderstanding of purpose.
On to something that's never really been misunderstood by any of its interpretations, all one or two of them.
Yeah. That would be Dominion, but better known to all of us as Dominion. Tank Police, which has a very particular place in my heart because it was one of the very first anime that I ever got a chance to see, and wow, that really gives you a warped idea as to what you want out of this whole genre of entertainment.
Yep. But, it's every bit, Dominion Tank Police. More or less what you're conjuring in your head is what you get, but even crazier. It's almost a Saturday morning cartoon, quite frankly.
Just about. And if you happen to track down one of the old US Manga-ka releases, the dubbed over music for the opening... Tank Police! Feel the power that we got. Tank Police! And we'll give it our best shot.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, like I said, it's a Saturday morning cartoon, so let's give it a Saturday morning cartoon opening.
Right. But then let's give it half-nude cat girls in biker armor.
Yes. Well, who doesn't want an anime with a refitted British Mark 1 tank and stripper cat girls?
Ta-da! And it's hysterical. It is, right off the rip, Shiro's one comedy manga. Mm-hmm. While there are some very deep moments to it, as a matter of fact, when you watch the OAV, which is strangely enough one of the few really close-in adaptations of Shiro's stuff, the original Dominion Tank Police OAV just takes this hard right turn into, okay, and here's why the main bad is after this one thing, and here's his history, and you're, wow,
yeah,
oh.
And then there's New Dominion Tank Police, which again just kind of turned it into a generic cop show. You'll see a theme, weirdly enough, with Shiro adaptations where someone just turns it into a cop show.
Yeah,
yeah, I still like New Dominion Tank Police, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not... I still have a little bit of unease with the whole... Okay, now Anna and Una aren't necessarily the baddies.
Right, yeah.
Well, what's the point?
Yeah.
I want my bad girl cat girls. Okay.
Yeah, it's...
Moving on to Ghost in the Shell.
Yes. Yeah, as we said, feel free to love the Oshi film. It's worth loving, but it's not Masamune Shirow.
No. Feel free to love Standalone Complex. It's not really Shiro.
And Arise definitely isn't Shiro.
Arise is definitely not Shiro.
Yeah.
These are not bad. We love them. And they're reasons to watch. They're things to pay attention to. Even Innocence.
Yeah.
Well, hit. How about that? There is a nice controversial take from Maison Otaku. Innocence isn't that bad.
No, I enjoyed it. It's just, another artist doing another one of his quirks, which is Oshi doing screwball sequels.
Yes. And Ghost in the Shell, the manga. Pull this off my stack.
We have a lot of stacks in this episode. Bear with us.
Okay, first, dig that spine. That nice meaty spine. Again, only Otomo has a spine like that. But, okay, dig those splash panels.
And that's another thing where he kind of parallels Fujishima, where he's like, okay, I kind of have time.
Okay, that'll need censorship.
That's not...
Okay, that doesn't need as much censorship. Splash panels.
But yeah, going with what I was saying, where he kind of parallels Fujishima's, okay, I have a little extra time, let's color this whole page.
Yes, there's beautiful work. The artwork is fantastic, and I don't want to just sell them on the artwork, but this single volume, this is all. This is one trade paperback that contains the entirety of Ghost in the Shell, and it tells the story better than any of the adaptations.
Yep. Which was my biggest reason for getting on the whole Scarlett Johansson film, just basically doing a crappier version of the Oshi film. No one has done Shiro's Ghost in the Shell.
No.
There's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. It's a missed opportunity. It even leaves out some of the most fantastic things about the Major. A fantastic, compelling character. An iconic character. Oh, God, I just used iconic unironically.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. But she's amazing. And there's so much interesting things to her that they don't use in the film because they didn't use it in the Oshi film or they didn't use it in Standalone Complex. Like, I love that she arrives to Section 9 already trained.
Yes.
Already brilliant at her job. Convincing Section 9, no, you need me, despite the fact that she has no background that they have access to.
Right.
That's something fun. You have so much you can do with that. And then the film is like, okay, what are we going to do with the whole mysterious past bit?
Ignore it.
Ignore it?
Yeah.
Ignore it. Okay. But No, the Ghost in the Shell manga is amazing to pick up. It's probably one of the best manga releases out there, with the only problem being you have the version I have, which is labeled mature content,
Except
that it's incomplete.
Yeah.
Or you can find a complete version, which Mike is blurring right now.
Yeah.
That includes a depiction of the major's sexual preferences.
Yeah. Also worth mentioning, if you have the aforementioned Intron Depot Volume 1, they do have, let's see if I can even turn to it. It's back here.
You'll have to excuse us. We have to page through.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, they have it right in here.
Yeah,
which
right
we
there.
Can't.
Yeah, we can't show you, but we can ogle it and tell you you're missing out.
Yeah.
You need that. You need that in your life. Also, she looks surprisingly like Cutie Honey.
Yeah, she does look like, and she kind of has a nene thing going on. And man, Shiro's really good with breast physics. Digression.
Now we got to talk about Gundress.
Yes. So, have you ever, saw something that you thought was going to be a huge hit? You invested all your money into marketing it, and then it ended up being a huge flop? That's what Media Blasters did.
Yeah. Media Blasters basically bet the farm on Gundress, which was, if we're being fair, a bit of a fan film.
Yeah.
Basic idea was animation studio was a group of tremendous fans of Masamune Shirow and managed to convince him to draw some art for them. Just the ideas they had. Mm-hmm. And Shiro doesn't turn down a buck.
Nope.
Now, normally this would be, okay, noted character designer does character designs for new production, and it would be just that. I mean, Kosuke Fujishima has done for Sakura Wars for years, and nobody stands up and screams, "Sakura Wars! By the genius that brought you, you're under arrest!"
Yeah. These guys, on the other hand...
Yeah.
So it's basically a cobbled-together story with none of the world cohesion or wonderful character writing that we just talked about. And Media Blasters got the rights to this, and they're like, oh, this is going to be the next Ghost in the Shell. This is going to sell everywhere.
A half-assed cyberpunk noir.
Yeah.
Not noir as in film noir, as in the craptacular B-Train anime noir.
Oh, man.
Hey, 4th season, and we're still crapping on noir.
Well, we have to.
Yeah.
The B-Train needs to continue to be hit with the "You Suck" bat.
Absolutely.
And speaking of other people need to be hit by the "You Suck" bat, no, more accurately, Gundress was Debutante Detectives Corps with mechs.
There we go. That's another apt description. Effectively, what we ran into with Gundress was not only that was a very bad, very derivative anime, but it was one that Media Blasters, banking on the idea of Ghost in the Shell's popularity, so they smeared Shiro's name all over
You could not walk into a Suncoast or any other similar place without seeing a poster for the damn thing.
Yeah. Because they were so convinced, this is it, this is the thing, this is what's going to break the bank.
And it bombed.
Oh, it ate. It ate hard. It ate like Mike in the Chinese restaurant when they have the cheap crab legs. God, I actually paid money to rent Gundress when it came out. I had the opportunity because of Retropolis. And Retropolis had the posters. You saw it when they got the posters. And they had Retropolis had a Gundress poster on the front door and on the VHS wall.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, tell you guys what, when it comes in, I'll rent it. I did. What the hell? This is not Ghost in the Shell's creators' work. Mm-hmm. This isn't even the Ghost in the Shell interior decorators' work.
It's Battle Skipper.
It's Battle Skipper. We should have done it in the last episode.
Yeah, we really should have.
But we have to mention it in discussing Shiro's work. to disassociate the man with it, because the man was associated with it almost against his will.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't really created since, save for his posters, his paintings, his art books, his calendars, which are his favorite thing to do.
Next to his erotica.
Yes. But then he does erotic calendars.
Yes.
So,
the man has a series of erotic art books called Gal Grease. So called because it basically exclusively features hot women who are oiled up.
yes.
Classy.
Classy. And he is having the time of his life, and he's making a good living, and he doesn't really want to get involved in the rat race of anime production, manga production. He gets plenty of royalties off of Ghost in the Shell. Appleseed still turns him a good check.
Well, and that's the thing. He's basically, like you said, he's making the money based off his previous manga. He's going back to, well, you know what? Screw it. I'll just go back to making calendars.
So, I think that's actually a good place to leave the man.
Yes.
Leave him exactly where he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
He has given the world, the anime world, the fandom world, so much good stuff over the years. We joked about, getting the exclusive on and getting the real story, but you know what? We don't need the real story because we know the real deal. The real deal with Shiro is fantastic cyberpunk, beautiful work in both the art and the storytelling.
And just our flavor of batshit insanity.
Yes. So, we salute you, Shiro-san, and from all of us here at Maison Otaku,
This is Mike.
and Justin, saying, enjoy what you watch.
And share what you enjoy.
I still want my money back for Gungress.
Yeah, we all do.